Oh, what's going on, ladies and gents? Let's dive into the market and see what we see today. Got to start with SPY. All right, so we had a nice little sell off here, starting Tuesday, right? We dropped from 697, caught a bottom, it seems, down here at 670. So this is what we need here for SPY. Let me move this out of the way. What we need here for SPY, we need to reclaim this, right? We're back into our uptrend right now, but we need to make sure that the next candle that touches this, we claim and push back up, right? So now this becomes our support once again. So that's what we have to wait for on SPY to make sure that we continue to push up. Now, this down here, since we were on a demand zone, this would have been a great double bottom play to jump into, right? We see this here. Here's our first test. Boom, boom, boom. This could have been a great double bottom play to jump into. Now, I would have pushed this out. I think I put that in our group to like, if you do get into anything, push it out. Because the VIX was super duper high. I think we touched like 23 yesterday. So when the VIX is that high, either trade with the market or get into something that's opposite of the market and push it out to give the VIX time to cool off. And it looks like we're getting a little of that cool down now. Let's go to a larger time frame to see where we are. So the thing with this, just kind of going back a little bit, like I mean, seeing that we've been in this ascending wedge for a while, it was expected that eventually we were going to pull out of this, right? So, but again, we just need this to continue to hold as support and push back up. Now, if you see here what we're seeing on the daily, right? You see where we got the wick up above and then the body. We need this to flip. We still remember we need to see the wick here and then pushing up with the body. We don't have that yet, but that's what we need to really make sure that we go back as a bullish play. All right, but so far so good today on the SPY. All right, let's go look at Netflix. So Netflix has been trying to fight for his life a little bit this week, right? We got some breakout from our downtrend here that we've been holding for a while. We touched 83, and trying to push back up to that, but we're still fighting. We're still fighting pretty heavy here on Netflix. Honestly, we need Netflix to let's go to the 4 hour so we can see how the clear skies look on Netflix and where they look. Yeah, so we need Netflix to get back to about 85 before I think we see a flip in momentum on Netflix. Until then, we're just going to keep consolidating. But here's the problem. I mean, they're still in this bidding war, right? They still haven't won the deal. And so until that happens, I just don't think anything major is going to happen with Netflix just because of that. So if you're in the play or thinking about getting into a Netflix play, you're going to have to push it out quite a bit. We need this deal to settle. Let's go look at Bitcoin. Um, so Bitcoin fell off too, right? Everything really melted down this week. Now the crazy thing with Bitcoin, so a couple of things. I know that we have this 4 year cycle with Bitcoin where we have a bull run, and after that bull run, we have like 18 months or so of some pullback. So a little bit of this I could imagine is has to do with that. I also think just kind of what I've been seeing online, which is crazy to me, is like a lot of people keep trying to say, oh, Jeffrey Epstein, it's been announced that he's Satoshi. That is false. Jeffrey Epstein is not Satoshi. The documents that they talk about Jeffrey Epstein being involved with the MIT Bitcoin project, that was in 2014, right? That's 6 years after Bitcoin was already created. But since that theory's out there, now there's been a lot of fake articles being posted and a lot of fake emails being put out there to try to win over that for the conspiracy theorists. So I think that has some stuff to do with this too. Like people are like, oh, you were supporting Ray Epstein Island. That's false. We need that news to blow over. But again, this can also be just part of the natural flow of things with Bitcoin. Here's what I see. If I'm being honest, I didn't mean to go to the 2 hour. Let's go back to that 1 hour. All right, here's what I see, and you guys probably already see it as so. I think we'll touch 60 again, and we lose that, we get down to 50, or we reclaim and run up, because this is what I see here. See this potentially being a bear flag and continuing uh, out again, right? Dropping down, boom, or further, because we go to, I think it's the weekly, our next step. 50,450. Very possible. So keep that in mind, Bitcoin, before you rush in bullish. All right. Let's look at Apple. Man, We talked about this yesterday. Apple's been so resilient. This is crazy. All this is going on, and Apple isn't budging. You remember when before Nvidia became the darling of the market, Apple, all the memes were of Apple holding the market up, right? And it's like Apple's getting back in that pole position too to be that premier stock again because this thing has just been running kind of crazy. So we got a little bit of a break here, break of structure. Here's our retest. It was red candle. We lost it. This next candle, if we break back through this break of structure with the wick in a body, that's where you get in an Apple. Can push this thing up to 288 if we get that. We need a wick in a body. Remember, wick, body, wick, body. Um, so yeah, Apple can continue to be bullish if we get that. Palantir. Talked about Palantir, still been getting beat up pretty bad. I know Michael Burry put out a short on Palantir a couple weeks ago, but let's see here. Looky here, looky here. I see a head, I see a shoulder, I see a potential right shoulder forming for an inverse head and shoulders play here on Palantir. So what does that look like? Inverse head and shoulders pattern. Oh, see this? This is what we could potentially be seeing on Palantir, right? This goes this, boom. This could be what's happening right here on Palantir, right? So we may see some breakout here. I want to see, are we near demand zone anywhere though before we do that? Not quite. So if we do break, we might get up to about 141. Um, I like my patterns to line up with demand zones, but it doesn't look like we have one near for this to line up. But let's erase this because even within that, you see this too. I'm sure you see this too. But you already know what I'm going to draw. We got this too. Boom, boom, boom. Inverse head and shoulders plus a bull flag coming out of Palantir. All right. So that's what I see. Let's go look at some of those non-tech stocks because tech's been selling off. So where are people going with their money? Well, it looks like Walmart's one of those. Walmart's been running for a while. Finally got some resistance here. So we'll see what happens. Break. I mean, we touch, we lost. Let's see if we touch again. And then if we get a wick in the body, you see this right here, this wick here that pulls down. If we get that again, we take puts on this. If we get a breakup and then a test here, we're going to take this for even higher. For Walmart, go look at TGT, Target. All right, so we're right here. Uh, let's see what happens here with Target, right? We got shoulder, head, potential shoulder here. Got a wick in a body, right? Once we get this thing to become like a short body and it flips red, we can get into this thing and at least engulf half of this back down to like 112, 110. So that's what I see on Target, potentially bearish. That's what I got for today. We'll see how it plays out, and y'all have a great weekend. Peace.